The Rolling Stones are up there with the Olympics of having one of the most recognisable logos around.
So how did one of the world's biggest bands become one of the world's biggest brands?
Well, Cary Grant has the story behind these luscious lips.
Music is big business. Now, today's artists, of course, need talent, but almost just as importantly, they need a whole team of accountants and merchandising experts. And if they get to the very top, well, that's when they transcend music and transform into something truly gigantic. And when bands become brands, there's only one that can claim to have been the first and still the biggest. The Rolling Stones Tongue and Lips logo has been with us for more than 40 years. Since 1971, it's appeared on every single Rolling Stones album artwork, and its simple yet so distinctive red splash has become one of the most recognisable brand images in the world. Now, I always thought the logo was based on that mouth and those lips, but there's more to the story than that. John Pash is the man who designed it. He was still at art college when he was first given the opportunity to work with the Stones.
The Rolling Stones office phoned the college and asked them to send a student along to talk to Mick Jagger about their European tour poster. I turned up and went into a meeting room, and there was Mick Jagger.
Were you nervous?
Very.
Mick Jagger loved John's poster design. He was so impressed that he asked him to look at another, seemingly much smaller project.
I was invited back to talk about this logo, which was going to be a small logo, maybe used for the letterhead, so it wasn't as a huge deal at the time. Jagger showed me a picture of the goddess Kali, the Indian goddess, and said, I really like this.
Kali is the Hindu goddess of time and change, and you only have to look at her for a few seconds before you see where John got his inspiration for the logo from. For me, growing up with this, I thought that this was Mick Jagger.
I think that's part of it, but the main reason that I chose a tongue sticking out was because I felt it was a symbol for protest, anti-authority, basically the kind of thing kids do when they don't like something, and I just thought it would work for the bad boys of rock and roll.
The Rolling Stones logo became part of popular culture almost immediately. Was it a fluke, or is it really that brilliant a design? John had just graduated from the Royal College of Art when he designed the logo, and the tutors here are still the experts. Adrian, what is it about this logo that makes it work?
The first thing to say about it is it's a really sharp piece of graphic design, which means you can use it anywhere. You can use it on T-shirts, you can make earrings out of it, absolutely anything. But it also says something about the kind of lifestyle and the image.
Were the Rolling Stones the first band to brand themselves?
Bands always had distinctive, even the Beatles had a distinctive way of typesetting their name. But what the Stones did, and I think is really smart, was they understood a long time ago that merchandise, the stuff you sell at the gigs and the stadium concerts they do, make as much money, if not more money, than the records.
Merchandising has sent the logo global. It's not just the Stones who flaunted the tongue and lips for the past 4 decades, it's us too. But the original letter John got from the Stones confirming they were hiring him to design the logo gave no hint of how huge it would become. We have also asked you to create a logo or symbol which may be used on notepaper as a programme cover and as a cover for the press book. And if you don't mind me asking, what would have been your fee?
I think it was 50 guineas, but it was only envisaged for a very limited use.
But John has recently managed to earn a tidy sum by selling the original artwork to the V&A. And he's now been given permission to make 5 more original pieces based on the logo. This simple image is still just as fresh today as it was back in 1971, and it still captures everything the fans love about the Stones. So if you want an example of the perfect band logo, look no further than the Tongue and Lips.
Right, well, Donny...
I'm sorry, that story was not accurate.
And why?
No, the way they came up with that logo with the tongue, like he's throwing up, they were listening to a Marie Osmond album. And